A smaller and cheaper Starlink is just months away. We got some early details on the upcoming Starlink Mini. Hi, I'm Chris with the Mobile Internet Resource Center, here to talk to you about the Starlink Mini. This is the new little brother of the Starlink standard that has been kind of Starlink's main bread and butter for a while. And this Starlink Mini is physically quite a bit smaller. Now, we've known this has been in the pipeline for over a year. We first saw a SpaceX file with the FCC for this device way back in March 2023. So we knew the dimensions and have been covering the dimensions in all of our Starlink coverage over the past year, but we didn't know when the Starlink Mini would come out, and we didn't really know exactly what it would be capable of. How much performance would be sacrificed to shrink Starlink down into something about the size of a MacBook Pro. And well, over the weekend, Elon Musk got his Starlink Mini, plugged it in, got online, and started tweeting or Xing about it. So he shared that the Starlink Mini will fit in a backpack and be easily portable. Just takes a few minutes to set up and gets online, and he shared the very first speed test showing what the Starlink Mini is capable of. So the speed test Elon posted was 100 megabits per second down, 11.5 megabits per second up, and 23 millisecond ping time. So we assume that Elon has the highest priority access on Starlink's network, so you can assume that is the absolute best case scenario for what the Starlink Mini is capable of. But that is pretty good performance for a device that small. It's about a third to a quarter of what the full-size Starlink standard is capable of on an uncongested network. So pretty exciting, enough to do multiple 4K video streams downloading, and enough for some, but not all, critical uploading tasks. So if you got critical upload needs, well, Starlink Mini might not be so appropriate for you. So, hey, we've got evidence. The Starlink Mini works. It's being used. Elon's got one. When can the rest of us get one? And, well, what will it cost? And what else is different about the Mini? Well, first off, the when. We'll jump straight to that. Elon said that it will be rolling out in, quote, select areas in the coming months. So we know the Starlink Mini has finally gotten its full FCC approval for stationary and in-motion usage, so it's just a matter of SpaceX ramping up production and deciding where they're going to bring it out. But, well, probably by the end of the summer, we'll see Starlink Mini available at least in maybe a certain pilot market. So looking forward to that. And then, well, how much will it cost? This was something really exciting in Elon's tweet, as he said that the Starlink Mini will be about half the cost of Starlink Standard. And the way he wrote it implies that potentially the data plans would be half the cost as well. So Starlink Standard was recently dropped to $499. So does this mean Starlink Mini is just $250? That would be pretty exciting, pretty revolutionary pricing for a satellite system. And well, we'll have to see if they actually do deliver on that. And then, well, if the data plans are cheaper too, well, maybe they're going to do that because they have less peak speeds than the Starlink standard plans. We'll really have to see. It'd be really exciting to see Starlink bring out a cheaper data plan rather than, well, their current $150 a month Starlink mobile plan that they steer most mobile users towards. So that's the pricing, that's availability. A few other details have been coming out via updates to the Starlink app, which now have inside of it, if you dig deep enough, some graphics showing off what the Starlink Mini looks like. And it's basically is a small version of the Starlink Gen 3 standard with a little flat space and a kickstand that comes out and is removable on the bottom. So small, you can set it up and aim it. We also have learned that the Starlink Mini actually integrates into it the Wi-Fi router. So it makes its own Wi-Fi hotspot. You connect it to power and it makes a Wi-Fi hotspot. No other hardware needed. It no longer needs an external router, but it shows that it can actually still connect with and use other Starlink routers in a mesh mode. And the app seems to indicate that pass-through and Ethernet is still supported. So if you've got a more capable router like a Peplink, you can still use that Ethernet cable to plug in and combine your Starlink with cellular and everything else to make a much more integrated mobile internet arsenal. So the Mini will be a really great addition to people who already have great cellular systems and who just want to bring in Starlink for that extra bit of coverage and reliability in places where cellular just doesn't work. The other big open question is power consumption. Now, we can assume pretty strongly that the Starlink Mini is going to use a lot less power than the Starlink Standard, but we still do not have any hard technical data on how much more power efficient it is and whether or not it runs off of 12-volt DC or a higher voltage DC with an AC power adapter or some other power supply. So open questions around the DC powering and how you'll power this on the go. Open questions on what the final price and plan and hardware will be. But some pretty exciting stuff. So we're really excited to see that this Starlink Mini that we've been tracking for over a year is getting closer to being a reality. And we are very eager to get some hands-on time and do some hands-on testing to see just what those real trade-offs will be. So stay tuned at the Mobile Internet Resource Center.
These videos are brought to you by our premium members, our mobile internet aficionados. They make it possible for us to track this news and create these videos. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to our channel, or better yet, consider becoming a member yourself.